Hello and good afternoon. Tim Knight here. All right, we're at the halfway mark. We have crossed the 4 out of 8 for the Fed. I guess if I had to come up with a theme today, it'd be just hang in there with respect to ostensibly zero inflation at this point. The month-over-month CPI is nothing. Okay. Oof. Tell my Visa bill that. A strong economy. Again, we're being told. So everything's just peaches and cream. And there's a couple of particular positions that just saved my bacon today, XLE and XLU. Because utilities in particular, which ironically I'm not showing today, had a very strong opening, just surged higher. It was horrible and started falling straight away. And it's down nicely at the moment, as is XLE. Peaches and cream, so we're at lifetime highs. But let's look at some charts there to see if there's anything beneath the surface. We're going to start as we always do with the spider. And as I said, it is at a lifetime high. But I want to point, and if this is one chart we're going to focus on for this whole however many I get through, I've got like 25, it's this one. And I know I've mentioned this before, but it really bears repeating. The channel, the spider channel. This goes back for decades. It goes all the way back to the bottom of the financial crisis in 2008, and it goes to the present. And in that time, with a very brief exception, with the COVID crash, it has been neatly within the confines of the channel. It has been neatly within the halves of the channel almost all the time. So for all this chunk here, the dashed line is what we want to focus on, because that's the midline of that channel. For years and years and years and years, it stayed above that midline. The COVID crash kicked it briefly below, but it found strength. And as you can see, the steadiest part of this entire run was all through here because of the trillions of dollars of liquidity coming from the Fed. And it finally stalled here and began what was our all too brief bear market back in 2022. We fell and cut below that midline and have been there ever since. More specifically, we failed that back in May of 2022. And I just got to pound the table on this. We've been there ever since. That midline has, I believe, power in terms of resistance. We have seen time and again, and it's only a few times. It takes a lot of strength to get up there. We've seen it reach that midline and then retreat. We saw it take place here, shortly after it crashed in the first place. We saw it again here. Didn't quite make it here, not enough strength. Then we saw it here. And right about at the moment I'm saying these words, we're also seeing, in fact, it's so strong, we're a little bit above it right now. But I think we'll allow that. I don't think this is a new era of being in the upper half of that channel, but we'll see. If we're up, another 80 points in the ES tomorrow, maybe it is a new era. But as it is now, I must emphasize we're at that midline. This is not a 2-minute chart. This goes back for decades. So that midline should yield some kind of respect. Here's the bonds, the TLT. Very strong day. TLT up 1.25%. We closed the gap again. We basically revisited the level we were at last week. Got a little bit above it. At the moment, we're retreating from that somewhat. Maybe we've peaked on this one. That's crucial to watch. Now, the CPI came out this morning. The PPI, which doesn't tend to have as much influence, will be out tomorrow morning. But the big event, the monster risk, we are mercifully past right now. The diamonds, but not that much. The DAI is up not even a fifth of a single percentage point. That's not too impressive. We're strong in some aspects. The NQ is up hundreds of points right now. And as I said, record S&P 500, record NASDAQ Composite, record NASDAQ 100, record Oracle, record Apple, on and on and on the list goes. But it's basically the monopolies, like the Oracles and the Apples and the Alphabets, that are ruling the roost right now. The vast majority of stocks really aren't participating in this overall rally to the degree you would expect. EFA, a strong day, but watch this gap. This is at 80.60. That is apparently even now has been respected. We got close to it and we're well below it right now. So this bounce, maybe that's all she wrote. That's all it's going to get. I mentioned Apple a moment ago. Another strong day for Apple. We are up to a record high, a 6% gain, an explosive move higher. We were range bound on this for a good year. From June 2023 to present, oh look, the market's weakening, how about that? We were banging around, and finally, weirdly, a full day after the WWDC announcements. Then yesterday rocketed higher, today rocketed higher. Absolutely, well, marvelous if you own the shares. Hundreds of billions of dollars of new value created. Oracle also riding high on the AI train. This is up over 13%. Lifetime high. Maybe Larry Ellison could buy another island in Hawaii at this point. Tremendous rise there. The Kings, is kind of the most outsized example of the rich get richer. The most mega cap companies are the ones that are thriving the best. And this flows, of course, into the cubes. Pal was still talking when I came on the air here. I don't know if he's still yammering away, but it always seems to happen this way. Like during my program, things start weakening, and I can't tell, did he strip off his top, or is he running around screaming, or did he leave the podium? I don't know, but something's going on. Anyway, the cubes are up 1.43%, another record high, and just blasting higher. So everything tech. I'm standing right here in the middle of the Silicon Valley. We're just surrounded by trillions, literally trillions of dollars over the past, really even since October, over the past half year. I think something like $5 trillion of added market cap just to the mega caps, not overall. Okay, getting away from tech for a sec. We have here a couple of retailers wanted to point out that are doing extraordinarily well. Casey's General Stores, CASY, blasting almost 17% higher. And this is one of those stocks that over the long haul just seems to do nothing but go up. Just a phenomenon unto itself. So really, really remarkable success there. And likewise, Costco, down a touch right now, but mashed up against the tippy top of its channel. I wouldn't buy it here. The genius move, of course, is those who piled in during the bloodiest days of the financial crisis. I still have a Newsweek magazine, I think it was. The cover had a person's hands, just hands, and a rope, and just like a thread of the rope still left. And I think the title was Hanging On for Dear Life. And I was almost to the day of the bottom in March 2009. Those folks who bought into Costco down at these levels have had something like 2,400% pop in this. For some reason, there are people at this very moment buying Costco for the first time. Look at a chart. It's kind of pricey. ARM Holdings, lifetime high. Semiconductors continue to thrive on the whole. So ARM is doing very well. SoftBank enjoying that success. Micron, MU, another lifetime high, another star, semi-world. I will say though, as long as we're talking about trend lines being mashed up versus prices and so forth, NVIDIA merits close observation because of this resistance trend line here. So here's support, here's resistance, and we are getting very, very close to it. I will confess to you with a pure heart that I did buy some SMH puts about 2 hours ago. Not a huge position, but largely based upon the position of prices relative to these major resistance levels. I wouldn't go near myself the likes of ARM or even Micron. Still have puts on AMD. As I say, SMH is a new one. Tesla, tomorrow's the big day there. I don't think the news will be out in terms of Elon's package. That doesn't sound right. His compensation package until after the close. And we'll see on Friday what the result is and how that informs the price. JD, I got some of this earlier today. I've been watching this. Watch this level. If we can hold this 28.71, I really like the looks of JD.com on the long side. And this, unlike some of these others, is very heavily traded. Reddit. Yes, of all things, I've actually bought some Reddit. Having a good day here, up over 8% on RDDT. Rivian, I'm still kind of on the fence on. Don't own any of this yet. It's sort of sunk back into its pattern there, but keeping an eye on that. And let's see if we can close out with one just last one. We'll end with a cup of coffee. Here's Starbucks SBUX down again, another 0.5%. And I just really like the look of this. I like how it's behaving. I think we're basically going to have a larger size version of this following this pattern, which is much larger than this top right here.